Good morning, children. I take the pleasure of welcoming you all to JM Foundation Matriculation High Secondary School. I would like to introduce myself. I am Mrs. Suja. I'll be handling economics as well as commerce for you in this 11th standard. Because of this pandemic situation, okay, it is really, it is quite difficult for us to just overcome this situation, which is absolutely new to all of us, particularly. Without any option, only we need to choose this sort of methodology of teaching. I know this is absolutely a little difficult, and probably we are not used of such a methodology so far. But the situation has warranted us to follow such a learning a platform. So we have just chosen to do this online video classes, taking into consideration the requirements of our children. We are posting the classes in the form of videos, and let us see that we'll together we shall try to get the best advantage or make the best use of this online video classroom session. Okay. And if I had met you personally, definitely the situation would have been different. I would have got to understand you better. Okay, I would have learnt you much better. But situations are not like that. Okay, so till we meet in person in our real classrooms in our school, we need to just go along with this video class sessions only. Okay, let me just try to give you the best out of whatever is my capability, and let us together try to work out and do a good job. Okay, can we go to the lesson? See, 11th standard, it is totally a new subject you have chosen. The streamline itself is totally new for you, because if you have chosen a science group, definitely we are connected with the subject right from our first grade. Science we have been learning from first standard. Okay, initially we started learning science as environmental science, and gradually when you get promoted to the third grade and fourth grade, you just learn environmental science as a split up of the subject. You learn it as science as separately, and social science as a separate subject. And then again, science is being split up into physics, physical science, and biological science. And physical science, again, you get, as your grade increases, you learn the subject, you start learning the subject in depth as you grow in standards. Likewise, this subject economics also, you might have got a small introduction about the subject from your 8th grade onwards, if I am right. But as when you are in a lower grades, the content of the subject and the understanding of the subject is to the level of your standards. Now then, you have chosen the arts group as your main streamline. We are in a position to learn in depth about the subject that we have chosen. And I would like to congratulate everyone for choosing arts group. Okay, because this is a group which never has a degrowth. Okay, as long as we are living, we need to earn this particular subject, arts group. Okay, the scope of the arts group is definitely on the increasing side only. Okay, everyone has to do a production process. Okay, every businessman needs an accountant or needs a marketing staff to market his product, or the managerial talents is required. Okay, and arts group gives us a skill to develop all these. Okay, if you are an engineering graduate, your task lies in the production side. But when you have chosen arts group, you are in a position to take, as you are in a position, or you stand as a connecting link between the production side and the consumer side. Okay, so the role of the arts people is growing day by day. I would rather say that you have chosen a right group, okay, which has a perennial scope rather. Okay. Now, to learn about the subject, economics is everywhere, and an understanding of the subject will definitely help us be a better decision makers, okay, for leading a happy life. Okay, it is true rather, because this is a quote given by Taylor Cowen. He says that every person, each one of us know we are economists in some way or the other. Economics basically deals with money and money related issues. How a person manages the money. Okay, how a person takes the various decision policies to manage his money. We think as an individual, we think from our point of view, but when the scope of the subject gets widened, how a country is managing its financial affairs, what are the various policies that we implement to have a good economic management. Okay, so the understanding of the subject will definitely make us be a good decision makers rather. Individually, every one of us, we are economists in one way or the other. So for example, if you are an earning person, let us say for example, after you complete your college, you are getting a placement, okay, where your pay scale or your CTC is somewhere around 50,000. Will you plan with this 50,000? Will you just randomly spend this 50,000 in the way that you think? Definitely we will not do it. We will definitely plan whatever the money that we have has to be spent in a proper manner, and that should give me the best satisfaction. So invariably, every individual is an economist. Okay, knowingly or unknowingly, we are practicing the subject of economics everywhere in our life. In this lesson, we'll be learning the fundamentals of the subject of economics. We'll be learning about the nature of the subject. We'll be learning about the scope of the subject. If I learn economics, what is the scope? Okay, how is the subject what is the importance of the subject with respect to the society, or with respect to the future rather? And we'll be understanding basic concepts which are used in economics, and how these concepts are applied. And apart from that, we'll be learning about the different definitions, okay, which are formulated by different economists from their perspective. Let us go to the subject rather. Whenever we learn about any new topic, we will be learning about what is the name clearly tell us, what is the title, okay, making us wants us to tell. Okay, what can we understand by the word economics? It is very clear. Okay, from the content of this from the word economics itself, anything which is related to money will be learning in economics. Okay, and to learn about, and various economists have prescribed the subject of economics in their own perspective, and various books have been published, such as Introductory Economics, Economics and Introduction, Basic Economics, Elements of Economics, Elementary Economics, Fundamentals of Economics. Like this, there are hundreds of books written by different authors. Each book contains almost the same content only, but we need to choose which is apt for our grade rather. Okay, see for example, when you are in a 5th grade, you will definitely not choose to learn a content which is worth learning by a 10th standard student. So according to our level, we have to choose that this particular content, this particular textbook having this content will be suitable for my standard. Okay, like this, a good introduction to a subject, besides the meaning of this title, it should give me the clear explanation of what is the nature of economics and what is the scope of the subject. Okay, whether the subject is very traditional in nature, okay, like history. When I say a subject is traditional in nature, history is a very apt subject, I would say, because we learn about past only. Okay, why do we have to learn history? Because many of us, we will be wondering, why should I learn history? It has got nothing to do. It has got no relevance to in the present situation. But history we learn, okay, to understand what sort of policies, okay, whether it can be economic policy, administrative policy, judicial policy, okay, was implemented by our forerunners. Okay, what were the mistakes committed by those people, and in future we need to just take the best examples from them and avoid the worst what is it the bad happenings or the bad decisions taken by them, which has led them to adversities. So history we learn to take proper decisions. Rather we learn from our mistakes. Rather every time we cannot do mistake and then learn from our mistakes. We can also learn from the mistakes which has been done by our forerunners also. So for that purpose we learn history. History is one of the traditional subject. Likewise, is economics a traditional subject or a modern subject? If I say economics is both traditional in nature and modern in nature also, because we learn about the current situation, we learn about various implementations done by our Prime Minister Modi also. Apart from that, we also learn about when the subject cropped into the society. Okay, when did we understand the need for learning economics also? We learn here. And we also learn that whether the subject is a static subject or a dynamic subject. Static means whether the subject has got any changes in it, or whether we'll be learning year after year the same content. Okay, or is it dynamic? Dynamic means anything which is subject to changes is dynamic. So economics is both static in nature as well as dynamic in nature. From the perspective of few economists, they say economics is static in nature. Few economists argue that and they say it is dynamic in nature. Next is, we also classify the subject whether it is an art subject or a science subject alone, or whether it is both rather. If I say it is art, okay, art means you don't have any correct solution for a problem. See, for example, I'll tell you a small problem which is prevailing currently. Let us say corruption. Okay, corruption is one of the inbound problem in our society. Can we clearly prescribe one solution for corruption? Definitely it is not possible, because there cannot be, because this corruption problem is all pervasive in our economy. From my point of view, I can give you one solution. Okay, there can be another person who can argue telling that this is not the right solution. They can come out with another better solution rather. So you cannot prescribe one particular solution for a problem. So you cannot say that it is science, it is rather an art. Okay, art is my way of approach taking. It can be different from different person's perspective. Whereas if I say it is science, in science, 2 hydrogen plus 1 oxygen makes water. If 3 hydrogen is added, definitely we will not get water. The solution of water, we will not get it. Okay, so there are certain situations where economics, in some way it is science also, but in some way it is something related to arts also. So we can say that the application of the, because it is science is something which is based on fact rather. Okay, so in economics we learn about fact also. See, for example, corruption is prevailing in our society. This is fact. So I can say that economics deals with science also, because science deals with fact. So economics can be taken as a science subject, or it can be taken as art. It can be considered as both also. And we'll be learning about the significance of the subject, branches of the subject. And we'll be learning about how economics is related to other subjects. Okay, how economics is related to geography, how economics is related to political science, how economics is related to astronomy, how economics is related to accountancy or commerce. Okay, how economics is related to law and justice. Okay, so this subject has got its relevance or its application, how economics is related to mathematics, how it is related to statistics. Okay, it has got the relevance, the subject's relevance is found in many of the other subjects. That also we'll be learning in this subject. And what are the newer areas which we have entered into, or where we have applied the subject of economics? Okay, and the subject contains more number of laws also. Okay, probably we might have learnt about laws in physics and chemistry rather so far. We might not have come across any laws or theories. Probably we have learnt theories in maths and science subjects rather. In economics also we have various laws, and we have derived various solutions for various problems using the laws, and based on the laws certain methodologies are adopted to find a solution for a problem. So we can say that economics is to some extent science, to some extent it is an art, so it is an amalgamation of science and art. Okay. Next is, let us understand the meaning of economics. Okay, every time whenever we learn a word, definitely we understand the origin of the word. Where did this word come from? The word economics comes from ancient Greek word, means oikonomikos. Okay, it is derived from the ancient Greek word oikonomikos. Oikos means households. Households, who are households? You and me are households. We are only households. Okay, nomos means management, or a law or a custom or a way of managing something is nomos. So just merge both the words. Okay, so economics means management of households. A person who manages the household, okay, is the study of that, you call it as economics. If it is household, even to, I told you, we are economists in some way or the other. So this is also economics. You plan your budget, monthly budget. According to your income, you plan your budget. You are also an economics. The work that you do is related to economics. The country, the finance minister plans for the house. For him, the household is nothing but the country as such. So the subject economics means management of households. Those who have the textbook, please underline this. Okay. Oikonomikos, because it is quite an important question. It has been derived, the word economics is derived from the ancient Greek word oikonomikos. What oikos means, what nomos means, and economics means management of households. See, the subject was it was basically known as political economy, because economics was more so related to politics only, okay, or the governance only. Later on, it was renamed as economics when during the 19th century by one of the famous economists, Alfred Marshall. In future, we'll be coming across more more number of economists, and definitely you will have, since I keep on repeating these names, definitely you will become familiar with all the names of the economists. Now let us learn the nature of economics. I told you in the previous paragraph itself, the subject. What does the subject contain? Okay, the nature of the subject, it refers to what is the content of the subject, and how and why they find a place in the subject. Why should we learn economics? Okay, what is the content in the subject economics? Okay, that tells the nature of the subject. Okay, this nature is understood. How can we learn about, see, when I say physics, or when I say, for example, organic chemistry. Let us take this concept of organic chemistry. First, when a teacher starts organic chemistry, what will she say? That first they will give an introduction about what is organic chemistry, and to understand the concept of organic chemistry, definitely they will give you a definition which is being stated by a popular scholar related to that subject. Likewise, to learn about the nature of the subject, we have got various definitions given by notable economists. Leading economists have given more number of definitions regarding the subject of economics. Okay, the reason that there are more number of definitions given by different scholars tells that the subject is becoming merrier and merrier. Okay, the importance of the subject is more. That is why many people have learned the subject in depth, and from their perspective, they have given the definition from their point of view. So, when we have more number of scholars learning a particular subject, the subject becomes merrier and merrier, which means it becomes more enjoyable and it becomes exciting, and it is becoming worthwhile to learn rather. So, in fact, one of the leading economists called J.M. Keynes has said, he observes that political economy is said to have strangled itself with definitions. Okay, J.M. Keynes is one of the leading economists. Okay, he says that the word political economy, the subject itself is strangled itself with so much of definitions. Okay, when you take the subject of political economy, when you browse and see, there will be hundreds of definitions given by different economists, which means that that particular subject has been enjoyable and has been merrier for people to learn more and in depth about the subject. Okay. In fact, their presence in the social science subject, it is very clear that only when a subject has got the scope of growth, people will start learning more of that particular subject. So as we have got more number of opportunities, okay, to learn about the subject, we have got a plethora of definitions, okay, saying the more the merrier. Plethora means having a wide range of definitions. Okay, so if this definition I feel very difficult to learn, let me go to the other definition which is given by some other economist, which I feel is easy for me to learn. Okay, so each definition, when you see, it has got some uniqueness, but not only that, there is a generalization of the subject, which means that I can learn this definition as a general definition. Okay, there will be some uniqueness. Each one of them have taken some point of aspect, and they would have defined economics in their perspective, taking that particular concept into consideration. Like this, we have got the subject matter of economics is very wide with a variety of definition. Okay, see, when we take science, no, science, it grows stage by stage. Like earlier, we might have learnt EVS, and after that, science, social science, and after that, science is split up into physics, chemistry, biology. Biology again into botany and zoology. Again, social science, when you see here, social science we might have learnt as history and civics during the lower grades, and after that, history itself was split up into history plus civics. Okay, again, geography is just split up into geography plus economics. Okay, later on, economics itself will be split up into more number of topics. As our learning ability and standards increases, okay, we will be learning, giving more special emphasis for that particular concept which is associated with that particular level of learning. Okay, now there are basically 4 definitions given by economists. Let us understand those definitions for the day. One of the leading economists, called as Adam Smith, has given a definition which we call it as wealth definition. He has belonged to the classical era. Whenever I say classical, it means age old. Because to tell you very clearly, okay, if I ask you, tell me some classic movies, okay, what will you say? You will definitely say some old movies only, because old numbers only we call it as classical numbers. Okay, so since Adam Smith belonged to the classical era, okay, this definition, okay, he belonged to, it is one of the oldest definition given by Adam Smith. So we call that and he has given more emphasis for wealth, accumulation of wealth. Study of economics is accumulation of wealth alone. So it represents the classical era. After that comes Marshall. He belongs to the neoclassical era. Okay, he has given importance for welfare also. Next is Lionel Robbins' definition, where he has taken the concept of scarcity as a center, and he has defined economics in terms of scarcity. He belongs to the New Age, so this definition is called as New Age definition rather. And finally, we have got a definition which is given by one of the modern economists called Samuelson, which is economics is something which is related to growth also. Okay, so we call this definition as a modern age definition. Samuelson's definition as a modern age definition. Now, today we saw what is a small introduction of the subject. Okay, since it is almost 25 minutes, I cannot just go into the next topic of wealth definition. I shall just wind up today till this topic. Okay, like we learned, we saw there are we have so many plethora of definitions are given of what is economics, but we have chosen only 4 definitions. Okay, given by very leading economists belonging to different eras. Okay, the first, in the classical era, we have taken Adam Smith's definition. In the neoclassical era, we have taken Alfred Marshall's definition. In the New Age, we have taken Robbins' definition. And in the modern age, we'll be learning about Samuelson's definition. Each definition will take one particular concept and emphasize on that, telling that economics is a study about this. Adam Smith has said economics is a study about wealth. Marshall has said that economics is a study about welfare. Robbins has said that economics is a study about scarcity. Whereas Samuelson has said that economics is a study about growth of a country. So, in the next class, we shall see in depth about each definition. Okay, I think you all might have understood whatever I've taken. Okay, if you have not understand, just rewind the video and you can listen to the video any number of times, because it will be in the view for the whole day. Okay, and regarding the homework, I shall post the homework in the WhatsApp group that is being created. Okay, thank you children. Have a nice day. Bye bye.